Hello and welcome to Iron Port. This program is proudly brought to you by Serene Insurance, Bor PLC, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Our proud media partner is the Business and Financial Times. This program is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. This week, our discussion is in two folds. Firstly, we had in the studios officials from the International Maritime Hospital to discuss the Pink October. That's the month that has been set aside to create awareness on breast cancer. Let's take a listen.
And so let me begin with you, Dr. Becky, and then find out from you how prevalent this incident or this issue of breast cancer is in our country, Ghana, and if you can zero in on our area, our catchment area, that's Tema.
All right. Thank you very much. So we know that breast cancer is the most common cancer amongst women globally. That is a fact. And every year, about 2.3 million people, women, are diagnosed with breast cancer.
Right.
The men are not saved. About 1% of men also do get breast cancer. When you come to Ghana, every year, over 4,500 women are diagnosed with breast cancer.
Right.
In our hospital, for instance, International Maritime Hospital, last year, we had about 8% of the women who were screened for breast cancer who came to do mammogram. About 8% of the findings were suspicious of cancer.
Right.
And for them, we had to go on and do further studies to ensure that they had it or they didn't have it. Out of that, we had about 22 women testing positive and undergoing treatment.
22 for this year.
Last year.
Currently,
Currently, we have about 42 women.
42.
Yes, currently.
Okay. All right, so let me come to Dr. Lavi and find out from you some of the most common symptoms that Ghanaian women and men should be aware of and how they can conduct self-examination.
Breast cancer is often asymptomatic. Usually, the early disease doesn't come with symptoms.
Right.
But when it progresses, you tend to identify a lump. And a new lump is the commonest finding when it comes to the symptoms of breast cancer.
Right.
Right. So with the lump, it's often painless. You will not feel any pain. But because it's painless, people don't really pay attention to it. So before they realize, it has grown to become bigger. And I want to state that about 90% of the lumps are not cancerous.
Okay.
So somebody will come to you that, oh, doc, I have a lump in my breast. You have to assure the patient that, oh, having a lump does not mean that
breast cancer.
you have a cancer. Yeah. So apart from the lump, which is the commonest finding or the symptom, there is also some kind of skin changes. So with the skin changes, either you have an orange peel appearance, that's like some minute pores. If you look at the outward appearance of an orange peel.
Right.
And then apart from that too, you have some redness or thickening of the skin. And when you look at the nipple, either it becomes ulcerated or it discharges blood. And it's often just one-sided. And also when it progresses to, you can have an ulceration or a sore around the nipple.
Right.
Yeah, so these are some of the symptoms you can look out for, even though it's often asymptomatic.
Right. What are the risk factors?
Yeah, so with the risk factors, we group them into two, modifiable and non-modifiable factors. With the modifiable factors, you can do something about them. With the non-modifiable, you can't really do much.
When you say modifiable factors, what can you break it down for?
Right, so the modifiable factors, you are looking at physical inactivity, you are looking at alcohol intake, you are looking at obesity, because it's known that adipose tissues will convert androgens into estrogen, which is a form of estrogen.
All right, so let me come to Dr. Becky and find out from you what specific services are available at the International Maritime Hospital for people, men and women alike, who are seeking a screening for breast cancer.
So all throughout October, we are opening our doors to everybody
Right.
on Tuesdays and on Saturdays between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. You can walk in for a free clinical breast examination. In there, we're going to educate people as well, because we also advocate for self-breast examination, knowing your breast and knowing how to examine it, so that if there's any change, you can pick it up early and then bring it to the hospital. Because we always say early detection, early emphasis is on early detection.
Yeah.
So we want everybody to come in once a year, come into the hospital Tuesday or Saturday, get screened. Also, we have discounted packages on imaging.
Right.
We have about 25% discount on breast mammogram. And if you do get the breast mammogram, you get your follow-up ultrasound for free. And then you have another 20% discount on breast ultrasound.
Right.
Again, we have gift vouchers. We are thinking about everybody out there, those who think that they might not be able to come.
Yeah.
We expect that their loved ones and friends would buy some of these gift vouchers and give to them, so that it will motivate them to come in and get their examination and their imaging done, as well as see a specialist and talk to the
Right.
specialist.
You mentioned, early detection. How important is that in the scheme of things as far as this whole phenomenon of breast cancer is concerned?
Yes. Early detection is key in the management of breast cancer. This is because breast cancer, like other cancers, tend to spread. The more you wait, the more the cells divide and start attacking your tissues locally and then spreading to other areas. So when you find it early and you are able to eliminate that, you're able to get a cure. Unfortunately, for us in Ghana, we have about 50% of women who are diagnosed presenting late. And so they end up dying. But those who come in early, there's about 90% survival, the survival rate. Yes.
Away from that, and we also had in the studios two executives from the Joint Association of Port Transport Unions in Japu. They were in the studios to tell us some innovations that they have introduced and to promote professionalism among truck drivers. Let's take a listen.
We need to position the union in a manner that offers drivers that safety net, gives them the assurance to focus on their primary responsibility, which is to move cargo safely and speedily to the prescribed destinations. This a driver cannot do if they are left to wonder as to how they are going to secure their future. Truck owners, as we know, invest in insuring their trucks. Cargo owners even insure their cargo.
Right.
But who takes care of the interests of that driver? The driver with whose skills and strength all of this thing becomes a viable business.
Yeah.
And we think that as a union, if anybody at all has failed the drivers, we at Japu will stand up for them. We at Japu will put together packages to give drivers the peace of mind to focus on their work. These packages, I'm sure, as we go on, will give you details. But in essence, we just want to assure drivers that under the competent leadership of our chairman and his passion, Alhaji Shamsu, we are introducing a lot of positive change and reforms within this sector to ensure that in the next few months, we're going to change the face of the trucking industry. We don't see why, for example, the shipping crew work in a very dignified environment. So with the airline crew, why must this be different for the road transport driver? These are the things that this Japu leadership is determined to change, and we are working aggressively to ensure that we give drivers that which they deserve.
Right.
I'm sure moving forward, we'll give you some more details.
Yes, I'll tell us briefly your assessment of what transpired in the course of the week at the port, where the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority celebrated Common Service Week, and Japu was singled out.
It gave us the platform to also highlight the plans that Japu has for our members. On the day we mentioned the welfare packages, the driver provident fund, the driver fuel procurement discount arrangement. We also talked about the driver life insurance policy. These are just teasers. We have a lot more, and I'm sure if Mr. Ohimin comes on board, he has just too many good things to say. But then the celebration itself, we say, went very well.
Right.
All those who were present were very happy. The program was well designed. The execution was excellent. The participation of our guests was super. And we think that this was reflective of our unity as an entity. And it tells us all that if we stay together, we can accomplish great things.
Right.
Drivers should just be on the lookout and believe that this vehicle is moving in the right direction and will get them all to where we want to get them.
Awesome. All right. So as part of the restructurings, the transformation and innovation that you're rolling out at Japu, we understand that you are issuing ID cards to these drivers. I want to find out from Mr. Ohimin here how this is being done, who qualifies to hold the card, and what the benefits are to these drivers.
Well, thank you very much for the question. For the cards, we are not just issuing PVC cards.
Right.
We are issuing chip-embedded cards for these drivers. One of the challenges we were having previously is to trace drivers if there's an issue. To even trace them, sometimes a driver will come to work and there's a problem and we don't know who to even call. So as union, the leadership decided to have a very credible data at the end of the day, whereby we had to take several data points from these drivers, trickling back all the way to next of kins, children, wives, guarantors in this event. Now, every driver working around the port qualifies. It will amaze you that we have even corporate trucks even trickling in to come and register their drivers for these cards.
Right.
The benefits are enormous. One of the major benefits is to secure discount loyalty program for these drivers when they are purchasing fuel. Now, these are not just attaining some form of point. You are getting discount in real time. Since the card is chip embedded, some of these activities can be rolled out in real time.
Right.
Another benefit that the card serves the drivers is the same card, we are using this card to issue life insurance policies for these drivers. So one ID card is serving several purposes. Since the port is running or going into an e-gate system, these cards can also serve as access points for these drivers.
Right.
Now, if you don't have credible data of your members, some of these things you cannot achieve. With the able leadership of our chairman, our secretary, and the executives, they have bought into this idea of bringing technology to enhance productivity of truck drivers in Ghana and in the sub-region.
Yes.
Bear in mind, Japu does not only deal with Ghana drivers. They deal with Burkina, Mali, Niger, Ivory Coast, Togo, and even Nigerian drivers as well. So this introduction of technology is just coming in to enhance. We are not coming to disrupt any activity around the port. Japu is bringing a lot of value to the stakeholders and the drivers as well. So any driver working around the port qualifies for these cards. Thank you.
Are you going to share with us some figures? How many drivers are you looking at covering with the issuance of the ID cards?
Okay, we are looking at 18,000 drivers at the moment.
Across the 6 countries that you mentioned?
Across the 6 countries we are. So currently we are doing a little over 7,000. And we hope
You've
to
issued
cover
already?
This. Yes.
Okay.
And we hope to cover this as soon as possible. Because there are so many benefits that goes with this. And you could come around and see what is happening at the Japu office. Queues of drivers wanting to acquire these cards, because it's not just having some form of identity here, but we are providing serious benefits or entitlements for these drivers. You can only enjoy all these freebies when you have these cards. Now, we are looking at even some form of integration with some of the stakeholders.
Okay.
And in future, we are looking at even bringing some form of marketplace for freight forwarders, shippers, and drivers, where a freight forwarder can request for a truck. Currently, Japu has a very interactive website where you can even request for a truck as we speak.
Yes.
You can go in there and even check prices of fuel, real time. So Japu in this form now, as the drivers call, the new Japu. There's a lot happening, and we hope every driver would come and help.
We have had issues of cargo diversion. Why? Because people go into the system, they are not properly registered. You don't know who is doing what. Anytime a truck goes missing, the whole system focuses on Japu.
Yes.
We are doing these things to ensure that there is foolproof traceability. Because in the registration, our IT team have so designed this system that you don't only come register as a driver. You also bring 2 guarantors. And you do this registration through a parent association, who is the affiliate association. So we have multiple layers of traceability. It makes Japu a more competent filter in the space. Because at the end of the day, part of what we are giving to the industry is also security. We want to ensure that once your truck picks cargo from the ports of Ghana, you can go to sleep. The cargo will be delivered. If for any reason we have to trace, with a click of a button, we should be able to give you all the information that will help you trace whoever you need to trace. This we can achieve if our members are not registered. Fortunately, there's technology. And our brothers here are working so hard to make sure that we are working with the latest level of technology. The system we have has even artificial intelligence built in it to the extent that we are able to profile risk levels of transactions.
That's quite advanced.
We have done this. We have, raised red flags. We share the information with SIC. We share the information with customs. All of this is to ensure that if anybody brings their cargo to the ports of Ghana, they can go to sleep. We are bringing real value not only to the drivers, but to the maritime industry as a whole. Agents are going to benefit immensely from this. Customs is going to benefit because these issues of diversions, once we register our members properly and we have all the cooperation, it becomes impossible for a truck that is not on our radar to pick a cargo. And we think these are real value we will be giving to shippers.
Absolutely.
These are things that we are doing to show that if there is any port in the sub-region where you can go and do business and go to sleep and be sure that what has to be delivered is delivered, then you must work with the ports of Ghana. These are tangible values. You understand? And we think that the competition in the sub-region is heating up. We as a trucking sector want to operate in a manner that will become a real asset. An asset that compels a shipper to choose the ports of Ghana. So it's not just about, you understand, being a union. We understand the ecosystem we are operating in, and we want to deliver on our mandate to the best of our ability. And we have a competent IT team. IT team that is abreast with trends in the industry.
Iron Pot returns after this break. Stick and stay.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a GOIL station today and energize your ride with GOIL Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. GOIL Super XP will fill ya, huh? Will be feel. GOIL, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, streetlights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome to the GPHA port of Takoradi, Ghana's first commercial port. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, has in its quest to position the ports of Ghana as the leading trade and logistics hub of West Africa, embarked on a massive expansion drive at its Takoradi port, the first commercial port of the country. This has resulted in a radical transformation of the initial 7-berth low-drafted port, which was constructed in 1928, to an ultra-modern port fitted with deep drafted container, multi-purpose dry bulk, and liquid bulk facilities. The 16-meter deep dry bulk terminal is the deepest in the sub-region, with a total quay length of 800 meters. It is fitted with a combined 3-kilometer length conveyor system, which comes with a 2,000 500 metric tons per hour ship loading capacity, which has greatly improved ship turnaround time at the port. The Marshall Liquid Bulk Terminal is a fully automated liquid bulk facility dredged to -14 chart datum and equipped with automated firefighting system. The facility is fitted with 5 loading arms for gasoline, diesel, LPG, bitumen, and heavy fuel. On the container side, Takoradi Port's 16-meter deep Yield-Port and ATSL container terminal with a key length of 600 is expected to receive container vessels in the third quarter of the year.
Welcome back from the break. Now, news and activities happening within the port and maritime industry next.
During this year's celebration of Customer Service Week, the Port of Tema's management prioritized engagement with hauliers and truckers who transport cargo to and from the port and hinterlands. Under the theme Above and Beyond, which underscores the Port Authority's vision of supporting and championing innovation within the cargo trucking industry, this year's celebration was characterized by a driver's derby and free health screening, among other interactive sections, all geared towards honoring cargo truck drivers whose role in the shipping value chain remains indispensable. During the derby held at the GPHA Truck Park, the director of the Port of Tema, Sandro Poku, highlighted the pivotal role truck drivers play in the success of the port business.
Without you, our ports will be mere gateways with goods stranded and businesses left waiting. Your pivotal role in ensuring that the logistics chain operates smoothly cannot be overstated. You go far beyond the wheel, providing essential services that keep our economy alive.
On his part, the Executive Secretary of the Joint Association of Port Transport Union, Ibrahim Musa, praised the efforts of the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority for being at the helm of reforms within his organization, which have not only improved the welfare of members, but also injected efficiency in the conduct of their business.
I want to thank the ports and thank the Director of Ports and say a big ayiko to all of us here. Thank you and God bless us all.
The drivers were also given safety tips on their conduct within the port environment by the Port Fire and Safety Manager, Alfred Okai.
The security and the fire are going to be strict on the movement or the speed in the port. So drivers, we want to call upon you to help us also help you.
In collaboration with Jireh Eye Clinic, GPHA's Health Services Department also provided free health screenings and discounted treatment for more than 100 drivers.
The Center for International Maritime Affairs Ghana, CIMAG, a globally recognized think tank dedicated to maritime policy research, advocacy and education, has been granted an observer status to the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, at its 71st annual section held at Palais des Nations, Geneva, from 16th to 20th September 2024. The UNCTAD Trade and Development Board granted CIMAG observer status and agreed to its classification as a special category. According to the Executive Director of CIMAG, Albert Derek Fiatui, the prestigious recognition acknowledges CIMAG's expertise and contributions to blue ocean economy, aligning with UNCTAD's goal and promote sustainable development and equitable trade.
To be recognized as part of that body is a big one, and we are excited as an organization that we've been able to achieve such a feat. What that does for us is that it has given us a lot of credibility and visibility in the United Nations system and also the global trade structure. Okay. And so as an institution, we are happy that eventually we've been granted this status. With this new recognition, we are going to have access to a lot more funding to train us and give us even more capacity building to do better than we are doing now. And that is what we are also looking out for. We cannot say that we have it all. We are still learning, and we hope that with these leanings and inclinations, we are going to achieve more to better the maritime industry and the blue economy, not just in Ghana, but the whole of Africa and the world.
September 21 each year is marked as remembrance of Ghana's first president and renowned Pan-Africanist Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, whose impact on Ghana's ports and shipping sector is still felt today. The construction of Ghana's biggest commercial port in Tema is one of his major achievements. As the country marked the national icon's birthday 2 weeks ago, the Port Ladies Association of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority organized an inter-port cooking competition as part of activities to promote harmony among female workers at Ghana's ports and also showcase Ghana's food heritage. Held at the GPHA Senior Staff Clubhouse in Tema, the event saw participants clad in their traditional outfits grouped into the two ports of Tema and Takoradi, with the former coming out on top. The Marketing and Public Affairs Manager at the Port of Tema, Abna Sewa Opoku-Fosu, who is the Vice President of the Port Ladies Association, told Iron Port more.
Cooking is not just about sustenance. It's also about expressions of our identity and also ways of passing on our heritage to the next generation.
The president of the Hospitality Alliance Ghana said this program, when sustained and harnessed, can become a national cultural symbol.
I saw, I think, a step higher than what I normally expect, in that it was a traditional thing. It was put on Kwame Nkrumah's day. Notwithstanding, they added the cultural enactments to it, and I think that makes it. What is culture if it's just food? But it's our way of life, and I saw that our dressing, our dances, our traditions, and all those things.
It's now time for international port and maritime news.
The European Commission has approved, under EU state aid rules, French state aid worth around 102 million euros to modernize the Naye ferry terminal and the port of Saint Malo. The measure aims to support the optimization of the management of areas for the transport of goods and passengers on the Naye terminal in order to respond to the growth of maritime trade in Europe. The project consists of replacing obsolete infrastructure with infrastructure capable of accommodating new larger ferries and improving roads and access to the terminal. The beneficiary is the Brittany region, which owns the port of Saint Malo. The aid will be in the form of a direct grant of around 102 million euros, with a total investment cost amounting to almost 118 million euros.
So scandals of vessels in the port, those at Takoradi and those expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rate you need to know to clear your goods from the port next. We have your comments next.
Shaibu Mohammed from Ashaman says, it's good to finally see some attention being paid to the welfare of trackers. For too long, we've been the backbone of the port's operations, but have had little support or recognition. Sherry from Tema says, the introduction of driver health insurance and improved facilities will go a long way in boosting morale and productivity. It's about time we start getting these kind of benefits.
It's now time for the phrase of the day.
Out-of-gauge cargo describes break bulk cargo, which is not suitable for stuffing into a standard container due to the cargo dimensions and which requires the use of special equipment like flat racks, platforms, or open-top containers.
This is where we draw the curtain on this week's episode of Iron Port. Thank you for watching, and thanks to the entire crew. Join us same time next week, and also follow us on our various social media platforms on your screens.